back of the head is never making any contact. There are a few reasons why I'm turning my head to the right from here. The first reason, this is one of the laws of martial arts, where the head goes, the body will follow. If I turn my head to this side, it's going to stop the tendency for most people to bring the legs directly behind when you roll along the spine and hit the back of the head. The other thing that happens when I turn my face to the side is it also protects a lot of important things in the back of the head, a lot of vital points that I need to make sure don't make contact with the ground. So from here, the head is turning. It's a very important point. When you get more comfortable with the roll, there's a few points with the hands you have to keep in mind. The first is when I'm rolling back and when I'm coming out of the roll, not to use my hands to push on the ground to help myself get to squatting position. What I mean is the following. When I get this here, don't do this. In the beginning, you might need to until you get more comfortable with the roll. But eventually, you have to realize that your hands are going to be protecting your face at all times. So my hands need to be free from here. So when I roll, the hands are in front, and I can use them. This is the first point with the hands. The other point, when you get more advanced and more comfortable, is you can actually help the hands and the legs work together to get momentum to roll back. In the beginning, when I'm rolling back, the faster I throw my legs, the smoother the roll is going to be from here. If I do it slowly, it's very, very tough. If I do it more quickly, it's a little bit easier. At the same time, if my right hand is coming straight out to the side, my left hand is going to be in sync with my legs. It's a small detail, but it's helping. Some of you might need a little bit of help making the roll finish. This is helping get the momentum. Pay attention to the left hand now. One more time. I'm throwing the hand back. It's helping me get back to my knees from here. It's very important to take your time with learning backwards roll and do everything in all the gradual stages. The next stage after doing it from sitting on the floor is to do it from squatting position, just like the other break falls. So for now, I'm going to be here. There's still a chance of injuring yourself from here because people tend to go a little bit too fast and hurt the shoulder. So make sure everything is the same as before in terms of all the major points. The arm is straight. Now my back has to be very, very round, and I'm looking over my right shoulder for doing the right side. At the same time now, when I go back, I actually need to take a step with my right leg. So everything is on the right side. Head is turning to the right, feet are going over the right shoulder, the arm is out to the right side, and now I'm stepping back on the right leg. See it from a different angle now. Once you got comfortable and are able to do it from squatting position without feeling any problems anywhere, any pains, any bumps, and everything is round and smooth and very cat-like, the next stage is to do it from standing. When I do it from standing, the same points remain as before. I'm going to be stepping back with the right if I'm doing the right side. The key now is to try and squat gradually. One of the ways I do this is by transferring my weight forward with my hands. So when I squat back, I'm throwing my hands forward into the side here. This is helping counterbalance the weight coming back onto my back leg. Again, here, step and drop. The transition is gradual. Eventually, it's in one motion, as opposed to dropping from here and falling and opening and landing hard on your back or your butt. Everything is round now. My spine is never touching the ground. And standing up in fighting stance. One more final tip. If you have trouble getting momentum with your legs, a good thing to imagine is to think that you're kicking someone behind you. So from the side, it's going to look as follows. I'm stepping, and now think that you have to kick behind you. Let's review the points for the soft falling. Make sure you roll over the shoulder, your head doesn't touch the ground. If you're going to the right side, step back with your right leg. The right arm is straight, looking over the right shoulder. As you step back, don't use your hands to come up. Hands are there to protect you. Standing in fighting stance.
We are staying on our feet and fighting, standing up. But sometimes we go to the ground, it's once enough, and we need to know how to fight on the ground. next scenario will be demonstrated by Marianne and Alex. Marianne is on her back, and Alex between her legs, choking her. What Marianne should be concerned now is that basically she has only a few seconds to breathe before she's going to lose consciousness, because if we choke her, is blocking the blood circulation and the air supply to her brain. Then she has to act as fast as possible. She brings her fingers together as close as possible to the groin to create momentum, and from there she's shooting her hands all the way up between his hands as close as possible to her face, creating a triangle. If you notice, this is a triangle that going through his hand, since her shoulder wider than her neck, obviously, then it's open automatically, no matter how strong is the guy. At the same time, she is working her legs, meaning at the same time that she's creating this triangle, she's inserting her feet in between the legs and spreading her legs at once. The attacker loses his balance. As soon as he loses balance, she can proceed to the next move. As the attacker collapses, Marianne moving both hands simultaneously, one behind the head to the other side, and the one on the bottom going to the other side of the nose. The hand behind the head is pulling, the hand on the nose is pushing to create a counter force, which turning the head, which turning the body, which lead her to be on the top position. As soon as Marianne rolls her attacker, she is moving to the top position. From that stage, she lifting her knee and at the same time moving her hand up to generate momentum. She's going with an open hand and palm to the nose. Right after that, she's standing up, bringing the knee to the chest to create momentum, and again with the knee to the nose and leaving the scene.
Let's go over the key points for the ground attack. Bring your hands low to the groin, close to your body, and in a triangle motion behind your head. At the same time, thread your feet through his ankles, grapevine your legs, and stretch his base out. One hand behind the head, other hand is pushing on the face to the side, on the nose, torquing the head, which is turning the body, ending up in the top position. Bring one knee up, same hand on the same side, elbow back, coming with the heel to the nose. Finishing with a kick to the face.
The next scenario is the same position. This is the second option that Marianne has when she's on her back and the opponent between the legs. This time Alex will be between the legs. He will take off his shirt so we can see exactly what she put the squeeze on with her legs. She's creating pressure on his kidneys. While he's choking her, she crossed her feet right underneath his rib cage. And from that moment, she creating some space here. And when she stretches her leg, she stretches directly to the ceiling, closing this gap. The pressure is very strong, and the reaction that is going up is quite normal. In fact, she's creating, at the same time that she's putting pressure on his kidneys, she's also hitting his eyes and nose area. So let's see the legs first. She's putting her legs together, making sure that there is a gap between her inside knee and his lower ribs. It has to be right at the bottom of the ribs, right here. And from that stage, she's stretching her legs very tight up to the ceiling and closing the gap between the legs, which creates a strong pressure on the kidneys. That has to be done at the bottom of the ribs, right here. At the same time, she's hitting his eyes. The way to do it is a very strong and fast move with fingers going to the eye area. It's important that you try to squeeze the fingers in so there is a turning of the fingers through the eye. When Marianne is actually striking at the face after she squeezes kidney at the same time. Let's do it one more time. Squeezing the kidney, press, push back,